Hey everybody, welcome to Revolution Ministries. My name is Tyler and I'm the founder and executive director of this new nonprofit ministry. In order to capture the spirit of everything that we're going to be trying to do through this ministry, I wanted to set the stage with a story. Now, the story begins under the backdrop of what would be St. John Paul II's last Christmas in Rome in the year 2004. Those who were there at his last Christmas gathering said as they were passing around gifts, John Paul II received a book on the natural wonders of America. And they said he opened it up and he was looking for something very particular. And once he found it, with a decisive finger point onto the page and with great enthusiasm and emotion, he says, "They told me it couldn't be done, and I proved them wrong." What was he referring to? He was referring to World Youth Day 1993, hosted in Denver, Colorado. Now, leading up to this event, it was not expected that the youth of the world were going to be excited to come to Denver. Instead, the youth wanted these great pilgrimage sites and the places in Europe. But this event ended up becoming the largest gathering of people in Colorado history, where it drew nearly 500,000 people. So August 10th, 1993, the airplane lands in Colorado. St. John Paul II greets Bill and Hillary Clinton, and then his first stop was Mile High Stadium. So he boards a helicopter that's piloted by a Vietnam combat veteran. So as they head off to Mile High Stadium, a priest friend of mine was actually there at that event as a youth. And as a young man, he was actually in the overflow section outside of the stadium where he tells this story. He says he could see the helicopter drawing closer and closer, and a little white dot was getting bigger and bigger. And when that little white dot was to be found that was John Paul II, he said that those around him erupted in cheers and in tears and great emotion. And he said it kind of felt like there was a gentle, slow wave that was coming through the crowd. And he says when it hit him, he felt tingling in his body, and he knew in that moment that he was going to become a Catholic priest. And then, in a gesture of a military salute, the pilot dipped the blade and headed off in the bowl of the stadium. To pick up the story, the pilot's testimony, as they're coming down into the bowl of the stadium, he said it was so loud from the youngsters at Mile High Stadium that it was causing the aircraft to buffet and shake and have a lot of turbulence, and it was a pretty rough landing. So what on earth could youngsters be so excited about an elderly celibate man? I think it's because St. John Paul II had such a way of inviting people into the epic adventure that is our life with God, and with such poetic fashion. I'm going to read from some texts that he actually said at the event. He says to the young people, "Do not be afraid to go out into the streets and into the public places like the first apostles who preached Christ and the good news of salvation in the squares, cities, towns, and villages. This is no time to be ashamed of the gospel. It is now the time to preach it from the rooftops. Do not be afraid to break out of comfortable and routine modes of living in order to take up the challenge of making Christ known in the modern metropolis. It is you who must go out into the byroads and invite everyone you meet to the banquet which God has prepared for his people. The gospel must not be kept hidden because of fear or indifference. It was never meant to be hidden away in private." That's what we're trying to do at Revolution Ministries. We want to preserve the legacy of St. John Paul II and really honor his desire for a new springtime of evangelization. An evangelization that's filled with new ardor, new methods, and new expressions. So here at Revolution Ministries, our mission statement is to creatively share the gospel of Jesus Christ in an apostolic age. And we want to thank you for partnering with us, whether it's through prayer or whether it's through your financial support. We want to thank you, and we are super excited to make Jesus Christ known in this age.
The word of Jesus. I came to bring